Okay.
Welcome to another edition of SportsShop27. My name is Jermaine Colter, your host. And to my
Right.
right, we have Kevin Johnson. And today's special guest, we have former Clemson running back Yusef Keith Kelly, the
That's right,
Bruiser.
Bruiser.
What's going on, Keith?
I look like a now for real,
Why they call you the Bruiser, big guy?
man. Listen, it's many reasons many places where that name came from.
Oh yeah, running people over.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. Okay. So let the people know where you're from, man. A little bit about yourself.
well, I'm originally from Walterboro, South Carolina, man, down in the low country. And right now I'm living in East South Carolina. When I left,
The one at 4A at 7.
Somebody's in the audio. I can't hear.
Keep connected to the car.
Oh, somebody's connected to the audio on the car. Oh, I can hear them. Anyhow, just tell us a little bit about your background, man. Where you from? Okay. All right.
Yeah, give me time. Give me a little time.
You can't hear me now?
You got to unmute it.
Yeah, I think your audio switched over.
oh yeah, because connected to the car and they just left.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Cool.
You connected to the
That's all
Bluetooth in the
good.
car. But it's all
Technology.
good, man.
Hey Jermaine, look at that.
But
They got my mother-in-law in the house, man.
I
Yeah.
see that. She said,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what's
But
up.
go ahead, bro.
But yeah, man, I'm originally from Walterboro down in Charleston, and when I left to play football at Clemson, man, I just stayed up in the area. So I'm living in now, but I'm a low country boy at heart.
Yes. What's up?
Okay, cool. All right. So how did you end up playing football, man? Who introduced you to football?
Oh man, we from the country, bro. That's one of the first things you do.
Backyard football.
Yeah, as soon as you learn to walk, boy, the next thing you're doing is hitting and playing. The official name is Kill the Man, but we call it Killer Man. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, everybody grew up like that in the 80s.
exactly.
80s, 90s. Tackle the man with the football, kill a man. So,
That's right,
who
man.
was some of your inspiration in the NFL at that time coming up? Who was some of your favorite players?
Yeah. Who you looked up to?
Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare.
Ooh, boy. Woo,
Yeah.
man, I'm telling you.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Body type, but I swear I was Barry Sanders, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But then you got the likes of
Everybody looked up to him.
yeah, Bo Jackson, Roger Craig, man, like it. A bunch of
Hey,
them run up
the bus. The
angles, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Jerome Bettis.
Word. So,
Yeah.
So did you play any other sports other than football growing up?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I played basketball. I ran track and I played baseball. When I played baseball, man, I was a pitcher, and then when I wasn't pitching, I was catching and playing first base. And then I wish I had some guidance back then. Man.
That's my position.
My ninth grade year, I went
Stay with it.
and that was the last time I played baseball.
Oh man.
Wow, that's good, man. So
Hey,
did you play?
what
You played in
position?
high school too, or you just played like coming up?
Talking about baseball?
Okay.
No. In high school, I played. After I stopped playing baseball, I was just football, basketball, and track.
Okay, cool. So what position did you play KJ as in baseball?
Yeah, in basketball.
In basketball, I'm sorry.
Basketball, man, we really was one of those teams that we were the early adopters of positionless basketball because none of us was tall. We really was just all football players playing basketball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Physical, boy. Somebody might get a knee in their chest.
Exactly. And if we couldn't do nothing else, we could foul and get rebounds.
Yeah.
Coach told us, man, if you wasn't 6 taller, you was gonna have to handle the ball. And the way we played and rotated on defense, I mean, I could be guarding a guard 1 minute, and I could be guarding the center the next minute.
Damn. You moving that feet, boy.
Yeah. Moving.
Hey, but I had a long wingspan, and I had right at a 40 vertical back then, so jump with them.
Yeah, that's what's up, Keith.
Well, so when you went to high school, go ahead, KJ.
Yeah, I'm saying, so you was playing above the rim. Was you dunking that thing or what?
Absolutely, man. I was over people's heads, like, because my arms were so long, and then I had that athleticism with that vertical leap. Man, I was a power dunk. Like, I really couldn't jump off of one leg to dunk, but boy, when I jump off of both legs, you better look out below.
Oh boy, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, 2 feet hopper. I feel you, man. So, when you played at Walterboro, this was like what, maybe 97 and 90 or 2000 or something like that in high school. Talk about you gaining over 2,000 yards in your career there.
Yeah, well, my sophomore year in high school is when I really stepped onto the scene. I was actually starting at cornerback, and I was second string tailback, and then I also played receiver, but I was a deep threat guy. Man. So, I splashed onto the scene as a sophomore, and back then they called it a super sophomore. So my junior year, because I was previously the second string tailback to a senior tailback, Antoine Neesmith. Of course, he went on to play in South Carolina. Okay. So I naturally stepped into the starting running back role. Back then in my high school, man, if you was the running back, that's all you did. They didn't care how athletic you were. You was only going to play because that's our offense, depended heavily on the running back. So I ended up going from playing 3 positions down to 1 position. That's how I ended up playing running back full time. And of course, my junior year, I actually built upon my sophomore year. So my junior year, I had 1,927 yards and 27 touchdowns. And so, that really put me on the map. So going into my junior year, going into my senior year, I was, anywhere from 1 to the third, first to third ranked player in the state. Of course, I was nationally ranked. I was an ESPN top 100 player when ESPN only ranked the 100 players. Was, and
that's big, Keith.
Yeah. So,
did you get
go ahead.
I was asking, did you get a shot at the Shrine Bowl or North-South game?
Well, and that's what I'm about to get to. About in 3 or 4 games in my senior season, man, I took a direct blow to my thigh from Greg Jones. We know, Florida State.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, we try to get him.
Greg was that size in middle school, man. We grew up playing each other from middle school and high school because he from Buford.
Battery Creek, right?
Went to Battery Creek, but in middle school, he was at Robert Smalls. And
all right.
Like, that was one of the biggest human beings I had ever seen.
Yeah, we played him in high school too, man. Yeah,
we did. Yeah.
Him and he overshadowed Darnell Washington. Darnell was 8'3", 20 in high school.
Yeah.
A little differently down there in Buford, man.
Yeah, it is, man.
Yeah. Boy, it's big. They played us.
Grown man down there.
It was a rainy day in Orangeburg. They came up to our stadium. We scrimmaged them. This is my junior year, and I remember I recovered a fumble for a touchdown. But your boy Ryan knocked the ball out, and he stripped it. So it was quite an experience because he was a tough guy to tackle even then. You had to kind of gang up on him.
Right. Yeah. So I ended up getting a thigh bruise that game, thigh contusion that game, and I ended up finishing the game, man. But I tried to go the next week, man. I just didn't do it. I had never felt pain like that before. So I missed a couple of games, and then I tried to come back when we played Stratford High School.
Okay.
My leg just wasn't having it, man. I ended up going out for another 3 games. I came back for our first playoff game against Fort that year, and they had a really talented all-around player in Michael Gasparotto. R.I.P. to my dude, man.
All right.
He played running back, receiver. He played defense. He kicked, return kick, did it all, man.
He's just an athlete.
He ended up going to Penn State.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yep.
his was actually the coach of the Shrine Bowl that year. And I had missed 6 games. I missed half of the season. But even though I only played in 6 games, I still had 1,250 yards and 60 touchdowns. But
that's Keith.
Yeah, I'm still highly ranked in the nation, man. And I didn't get picked for the Shrine Bowl or the North-South game.
Man, that ain't cool.
That's crazy. Nah.
All that work, man.
Yeah, man. That was a lot of work. That was a lot of yards, a lot of carries, man.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. After that happened, what schools were offering you scholarships at the time?
Before I had, including 23 academic scholarships, I had a total of 57 scholarship offers, including 23 academics. So, I had of schools to go to, man, but I had Michigan State, Ohio, Florida State, Georgia Tech, South Carolina, Clemson, even out to Colorado. Like, you name it, man. I had a ton of offers from everybody, in Tennessee as well.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Hey, man, that's great, man. Why'd you choose Clemson?
I kind of think it was meant to be, and
sorry.
I had never been on a plane before, so when we found out, like, for the official visits, that they would pay for me, but not, for a chaperone, we wasn't poor, we wasn't rich, we was squarely a middle-class family. And
for sure.
Playing for something like that, families really don't have money to travel like that. So that was the reason why I didn't go to Michigan State, but also Nick Saban had just left Michigan State to go to LSU. So I really wasn't interested in them anymore because even though the rest of the staff stayed, a lot back then people went to the school because of the head coach. You cut the head off, recruits I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
So I had official visit schedule with Florida State and Clemson in South Carolina. Well, Florida State visit, I ended up having to go and take the SAT, so I didn't make that visit. I made the Clemson visit, and then after my horrendous recruitment with Charlie Strong at South Carolina, I just didn't even bother with South Carolina, man. If they had left Buddy Pugh on me, it would have been a different story. But when they switched Charlie Strong on me, man, that recruitment for South Carolina just went in the toilet.
Wow,
man!
I didn't know it went like that. So, you go to Clemson. You're 18 years old. You get to meet everybody. What?
I wasn't even 18. I was 17.
What? You did all this when you were 17?
Yeah, man. I to high school at 13, and then I turned 14. And then when I graduated high school, I was still 17. And my freshman year, when we played the Citadel, that was my birthday. I just turned 18.
Wow, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the ACC game against Duke. What fired you off that game? Because I remember you was running them over, man.
Opportunity, man. One thing. Well, how you get talent to progress is you got to play them. You got to put them on the field.
That's right, man. That's right.
My freshman year, I played a lot of mop-up duty, but I was playing early. So it was just one of them games where Duke was Duke, and
Yeah, you got to do something, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that Duke atmosphere sucked. Oh my gosh, it sucked, man. From our locker room to the field was like 250 yards, dude. Like we had to walk to get from the field to the locker room, but I was a lot more agile that my freshman year than I was my senior year. Because my freshman year, I actually in high school, my senior year, I played at 221 pounds. Then when I got to Clemson, I was 216, and that was about around what I played at my freshman year at Clemson. So, I was strong, but most of it was just being country strong because that summer going into my freshman year at Clemson, I didn't prepare, man. I wasn't working out. I didn't lift no.
I was gonna say, I remember playing you at Walboro. You wasn't that big.
Yeah.
You wasn't that big in high school. And then when you got to Clemson, like, is that the same guy that was behind
Yeah. But the crazy thing is,
confused.
I entered high school at 155 pounds. Then my sophomore year when we played OW, I was 190. And then my junior year, I was 205, and then my senior year, I was 221.
Wow, man.
Yeah. Because what happened with that was when I went strictly to running back, when we had like the top 5 lifters and stuff like that, and I was like, oh no, my name got to be on the board, man. I got to be the strongest. I got to be the fastest. So I started.
I feel you. Yeah.
I wanted the top 40 time, and so stuff like that is what actually pushed me to start lifting weights more. So my junior and senior year, that's why I had the biggest gain in weight, because I wasn't doing nothing but playing running back and lifting weights.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Batson on that. For real.
Man.
For real.
So he had doing a crazy regimen. What was your regimen like, man? You gained about a good 20 pounds of muscle.
Listen, I'm from the country. All we did was eat meat. I had a cousin that owned a grocery store, so he couldn't just give us the food for free, but he would sell my mom like a 20-pack of steak for $1. So, I just grew up eating a whole lot of steak, man.
Word.
Wow.
So, who was the player that took you under their wing when you get to Clemson?
I think it was a couple people, man, because when I first got to Clemson, I would definitely probably say T-Zach, Travis Zachary. Most of the guys in the running back room, like T-Zach, Bernard, people like that, and T-Lee, because they saw what kind of dude I was, man. They knew I was a tough guy. But at the same time, I still had to learn the lesson of, hey, you're still a freshman. Like, we understand you're this big tough guy, but you're still a freshman. So
that's right, man. Yeah.
They showed me the ropes, but at the same time, I wasn't no punk. I wasn't go back down for nobody.
That's right.
Man.
Yeah.
I got about my boy Teaspoon, Terry Witherspoon.
Yeah, Teaspoon. Oh yeah, for sure, man. It was a lot of competition over there, man. Yeah. I just wonder how you done it, man. How do you just stay composed, man? That just to get through that like that.
You had to go into it knowing, like, although I'm here competing with these guys for a playing spot, man, these still my bros, these still my boys. So we're gonna have each other back before.
For sure.
We just use that to push each other, like we know T-Zach, he wasn't the fastest, but when you get him on the field game, man, he was so effective. It was weird to me, and they had to take me under the wing because he came from a power I formation offense. And they be running the zone, and I'm like, you want me to run to the sideline and then cut up and do what? Like, I had no idea what I was doing, man, but I had to learn fast.
That's right, man.
With Coach Rodriguez, I had to learn the whole offense in 2 days. They gave me 2 days to learn that offense. And back then, you had to know where each receiver lined up and what each receiver was, because that determined or dictated which way I swung on my route. So I had to know what Z, X, H, and Y was, because that determined what I did. Dang. So remind you again, I'm 17 years old and trying to learn this complicated offense, man. So, but also had people like Woody and Willie Simmons, who, if I wasn't lined up right, they would hurry up and tell me so I can make the correction. So a lot of the times, helped me look better.
That's what's up, man.
That's what's up, man.
So, what was it like playing against Florida State in your freshman year, man?
Well, that game, the only time I got on the field was for a fake punt. I mean, a fake field goal. Gosh, Florida State was probably the best all-around team out of all the states played against. In my mind, like, Florida State was the best all-around. Then Virginia Tech was
Michael Vick.
Oh yeah.
Like, it was crazy, man. But just being, like, I grew up a Florida State fan. So one of the reasons I didn't go to Florida State coming out of high school is because they already had a couple of running backs that had committed to them, including Greg Jones. So I was like, it's too many people over there, and that was on top of what they already had at the school. But just growing up a Florida State fan and being in that stadium playing, to be on the field with them, man, it honestly was like a dream come true. But I kind of got starstruck, man, because it's like, man, like, this really Florida State, like, this
man.
Superstars, people like Peter Warren, all them boys was at, man. Like, people I grew up watching, like Dion, like, this the field Dion played on, and people like that.
Reminiscing, man. Yeah.
Like, the list could go on about the
history there. Yeah.
Word. So I was gonna say, you went to the Humanitarian Bowl and you were on the Peach Bowl teams, right? When y'all won. Tell us about that experience. Like, which one you think was your favorite? Because I know you was in the cold in Idaho. Coming from South Carolina, don't get that cold.
Gracious.
Yeah. 6-hour trip, man.
Dude, we were kind of skeptical about going to the Humanitarian Bowl all the way to Idaho, but man, we had a blast in that shit. The folks over there, like, they ain't never seen black people before.
You ain't lying, man. You were famous, man. Let me get an autograph. Let me get this. Yeah.
But the city was great, man. It was a great trip. I think
showed us love.
And really enjoyed themselves there. But then, then you had the Tangerine Bowl. That's when we actually met Chris Tucker in the mall. I don't know if you was there or not, KJ, but
nah, I wasn't there.
Yeah, Chris Tucker, some girl, and one other guy was just walking around Millennium Mall, man. We met him, and we actually went out with him that night.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so when we was at the Tangerine,
how was it, man? Y'all had a good time?
Man, listen, we have. I don't know if Willie enjoyed it, man, because he was messing with Willie.
oh man,
that was around the time Charlie Whitehurst took over, and he was making fun of Willie because of that. So I mean, it was funny to us. I don't know if Willie enjoyed it or not. But,
he didn't, man.
Yeah, but just to see Chris Tucker, man, like, honest to God, I got famous people in my family like Bobby Brown, his mom, my grandmother, sister. I actually met him in Whitney, Houston, when my great aunt passed away down in Hilton Head. I got 4 cousins playing NFL. I got cousins that are rappers now, but when I met Chris Tucker, that was the first time I ever got starstruck, man, because it was at, Friday is
rush hour.
And he was fresh off of that rush hour stuff. So we were like, a mega superstar, like just walking around the mall with no security.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, he took us out that night. We had a blast, man. We really enjoyed ourselves. And then also we enjoyed the Peach Bowl, man. You know, for a lot of us, Atlanta was our second home when we were at Clemson because Atlanta was closer to go to than it was, say, go back to Walterboro.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of time in Atlanta, so we already knew what it was in Atlanta. Like, whatever you wanted to do, we knew where to go to get it done. You know?
That's right, baby. That's right. Now you tell them, King.
Yeah. But you know, even stuff like when we went to the Tangerine Bowl, man, we actually, even though we was playing our tech, like all us ended up at the same club one night. So we was going back and forth with CU and La Tech and stuff, but it was, even though we was competing against each other, it was all love, man.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
This was
cool, man.
A time that a lot of people couldn't fathom or never experience.
That's right, man. You're right. That's true.
So I know a lot of people watching, man, and I know y'all had a big game was that in Clemson in 2004?
Yeah.
Y'all played against the Gamecocks.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the clip real quick, man. I just gotta talk about it.
Check it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
I'm about to play the clip real quick one time. Hold on, let me see.
Pass protection.
Let's see. Hopefully it'll play.
Pass protection.
Well, the universe won't let me play it, so we'll just talk about
it,
man.
So
yeah. What happened in that game, man?
Huh? What'd you say?
What happened in that game against Carolina in 2004?
Well, I actually think it's stuff that started earlier that week, man, because you know, that was Lou Holtz had announced his retirement that week, and you know, so and it's just my opinion, I kind of felt like a lot of those guys figured, well, our coach ain't gonna be here, we gonna kind of do what we want to do. So you know, it all started when we came down the hill, and they came out of the locker room and met us down the hill. But you know, it was just a little innocent, pushing and shoving and stuff. You know, nothing too serious. But you know, they disrespected one of the most sacred in college football, man. Like, we would have never come out of the tunnel in Columbia and ran over to their tunnel while they were doing their thing coming out. So
that's true,
you know,
man. We got class about ourselves. That's right.
Right. This was a slap in the face. And but you know, after a quick second, everything got sorted out. The game kicked off, and how I knew the tone of this game was set from the get-go. When we kicked the ball off and we ran down that field, my partner in crime, my co-head hunter on the kick team, David Dunham, went down there and wood, man. God, he knocked dude and caused the fumble, and we recovered right there. Quick, went up 7 points, but that set the tone for the game, man.
Set the tone.
Yeah. But you know, it's Clemson, South Carolina. We talking junk all game. Everybody's talking junk.
Rivalry game.
Yeah, on both sides is cheap shots thrown all game. But the next thing that contributed to that is, I think, the fact that the referees, to me, didn't control the game. Because if they threw personal fouls and stuff, they threw it on both teams. So nobody paid a penalty for it because it was offsetting penalties. So nobody was punished. And then, you know, Savell Newton got tackled on the play, and Bobby Williamson kind of put his hand in his chest on him when he was getting up off the ground. And then one of their linemen didn't like that, so that lineman came and hit Bobby, and then one of our guys went and hit that lineman, and I mean that, you know, it was just a
wildfire. Spread it, man.
Yeah. Was that your last season at Clemson?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about football after Clemson. What did you do after that? Would you play in arena league or where did you go?
Well,
Yeah,
I know we got ready for pro day.
Yeah, we actually did the pro day. I
Yeah.
had a couple of teams talking to me, talking good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Cleveland and I think it was Jacksonville. Cleveland was actually telling me they were going to bring me into camp, but I really didn't have enough film my senior year for them for me to overcome, the black eye we had from the fight and being on the front newspaper with that picture and stuff like that. But I did appreciate them because he did call me after the draft and said that, they wasn't going to bring me in. Upper management thought I was going to be a character issue. So I'm like, wait a minute. I was on 3 different leadership committees at Clemson. I graduated in 3.5 years. I didn't get in any trouble, but said you thought I was going to be a character issue? Come on, man.
That don't make sense.
Yeah, I really just got a bad rap from that Clemson Carolina brawl. So, but by that time, I was giving the NFL a try because I was like, well, at least I could say I tried. But honestly, man, I wasn't happy with football at that point, man, because it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Nowadays, them boys at Clemson and around the country, man, got to handle their business, but also have fun at the same time. And see, we went having fun, and then we weren't really winning a lot of games towards the end of that season. So it just, it got to the point where I would rather be home with like my son and stuff like that. I went to practice. I did what I was supposed to do at the time, but I wasn't happy. And so I took some time off. And, I don't know if it was the first or second year I went and played arena football, but I think KJ talked me into going to football, man. And we ended up there.
Dayton, Ohio.
In Ohio playing arena football, man. Yeah. So that was a unique experience and stuff like that.
Yeah. Trying to keep that dream alive,
we were trying to get some film and stuff like that. And I was actually mainly playing linebacker when I was up there.
Yeah, and bringing the wood too, man. Bringing that wood, boy.
Okay.
I try to tell people. Yeah, before
went back to the high school days in middle defense.
Yeah, man. Before I got stuck at running back, man, I played DB. I was on the defense ball, so a lot of times when I was running the ball, playing running back, I had a different mentality. Like that's why I was trying to, run people over and stuff like that.
Bruiser.
Trying to beat them to the hole, trying to beat them to the punch. Yep. So let the people know what you're doing now, man. What you got going on now, Yusef? What type of work or community service or mentorship or coaching you doing?
Well, I right now I'm about to start my 10th year in law enforcement, man. I just moved over into investigations. I was the sergeant over the school resource officers for the almost last 4 years, and before that, I was a supervisor on road patrol. But I was coaching too. I actually did 3 years down in Columbia where I was an instructor at the police academy. And so while I was down there, I was coaching at a startup school called Southside Christian. And they started out with 8-man football, of course, because they're a brand new school, they're a private school and stuff like that. So I was the running backs coach, I was the DB coach, and I was a co-officer coordinator down there with one of my co-workers from the police academy. And then, of course, I've always coached like rec league and stuff like that, and helped out wherever I could. So, I've been working, man, and almost 16 years into it, and I got like 9.5 years left till I retire, man.
Yeah, man. I'm proud of you, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Man,
that's
congratulations, man.
That's how you represent.
Trying to change it from there.
That's what's up, man.
All right, cool, man. So let the people know the other social media accounts that you have they can follow you
on. Of course, I'm on Facebook under this name, Yusef Kelly, and I'm also on Snapchat. I'm on Instagram, it's under Top Flight. So I'm easy to find there. And on Twitter, it's actually J_Neutron, like Jimmy Neutron. You know, I'm a cartoon guy. I'm a kid at heart.
Yeah, that's all good.
Named Jimmy Neutron, so it's JAY_Neutron on Twitter.
Okay, cool, man. Hey, man, thanks for coming to our show, bro.
My kids, man.
Yeah.
So it really about me on there. I use that platform to put my kids out there. Man.
All right, no problem, man. Well, you just tuned in to another edition of the Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine, and my co-host, Kevin Johnson. Kevin, you got something you about to say before we head out?
Yeah, man. I was just giving a shout out to his kids, man. They're doing big things, man. Just keep on doing that, man.
Okay, go ahead and do that. Yeah, man. I heard it. Y'all had a basketball tournament and they did real well.
Yeah, man. They my son, they played for the upper state championship in basketball. They lost to the eventual state champions in South Point, but they had a great season, especially considering everybody battling COVID. My son going through his recruitment process for football and track, and then my daughter, man, she's 7th grade. She just had her first varsity track meet.
That's what I'm talking about.
The 4x1 won that, and then she won her heats in the 200 and the 400. So she finished like second overall in the 200 and second overall in the 400, but she won her heats.
All right, man.
That's big, man.
That's good, man. Tell them I say congratulations, man. We're going to have them on the show one day, probably.
Most definitely, man. Hey, I want to send a shout out to Travis ETN, man.
Yeah.
For the pro day today. He ran a 4.4, man. That's a good job. Keep it up, man. We got an eye on you. For sure.
All right.
Excellence, man.
All right. Yes, sir.
That's right.
You know it. Well, y'all tune in to another edition of Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Colter, with KJ, and thanks to our special guest, Yusef Keith Kelly. Y'all tune in till next time. Till then, wear your mask. Stay safe.
That's right.
Later.
It's not how you start, but how you finish.
Yes, sir.
That's right.